Lesson 4, Unit 1, the project monitoring phase. The focus of the monitoring phase is to measure the progress of a project against its objectives, look for deviations from the plan, and take corrective actions to get the project back on track. The project manager will use information collected from different activities during a specific period of time. In some cases, the project manager will use a project management information system that will provide all the data information to facilitate the process to analyze and make decisions. The regular collection of monitoring data, analysis, and reporting are the main activities during this phase. During the monitoring phase, you need to ask these questions to help you manage this phase more efficiently. Are we making progress in achieving the targets and milestones? Does the project have enough resources to complete on time and on budget? Are there any changes needed on the original plans? The monitoring phase is a moment to make a brief stop, look at the map, see where you are, and then continue with the journey. In the project cycle, the monitoring phase receives inputs from the implementation phase and provides inputs to the adapting phase, which will be part of the next cycle of the project. In this diagram, there is also a connection with the closing phase. If your project has completed all activities and the monitoring phase shows that the indicator targets have been achieved, then it is time to move to the closing phase, and that signals the process to end the project. This is the loop that occurs in the project cycle. The first question you need to ask is, where are you now? This is the monitoring information that tells you the progress the project made. Then, your next question is to know where you plan to be. This is where you plan to be at this moment in the project. With those values, you identify if there are some deviations from the plan, and if there is a difference, you might need to make some changes to get the project back on track. As you make progress, this cycle repeats to ensure the project can achieve its planned objectives. Here's again the diagram of effort versus time. The monitoring and adapting phase usually take the same amount of time, but the monitoring phase needs more effort. Notice that the monitoring phase also occurs at the same time of the implementation phase. It starts and ends with implementation. Its main focus is to monitor the progress of the project during the implementation phase. One of the key elements in this phase is the focus on monitoring for results. The project manager and the project team will monitor all the project results. This includes the outputs or project deliverables and any short-term outcomes the project can collect data from. This information will be compared against the plans and target results indicators. The project might have good progress in the scope, schedule, and budget, but results are the most important to monitor. These are the changes in knowledge, attitudes, skills, and behaviors in the target beneficiaries. If the project is not delivering the expected results, then the project manager and the team need to understand the causes and find solutions. Monitoring also looks at the 9 project management process areas, and the level of detail in monitoring each process depends on these factors: the complexity of the project, the risk, the size of the project, the experience of the project team, and the project constraints. In this example, the chart shows the 9 process areas. The areas of budget and contract have been ranked high and will require more control. The scrutiny to this area is higher because of the level of risk and complexity. These will be the areas that the project manager will place additional effort and resources to monitor in more detail. The areas that require less effort during monitoring are the processes that have a low score. For example, there is need for less monitoring on the process to manage the team and information, which could mean that you have a team with experience and you have low information requirements. It's important to make this analysis. You don't need to use the same level of effort on all 9 processes, but you need to identify the areas that require more attention. Here are some of the steps of the monitoring phase. You need to monitor the results that are related with the log frame and the project design. Monitor scope, schedule, budget, and quality. These are related to the project constraints, and they are critical to make sure the project is using the resources efficiently. You also need to spend time to monitor the team performance and monitor the project context. The major outputs of this phase are the project reports. Here's the monitoring phase flowchart. It starts when you receive performance reports that team members process in the information system. The reports help you make the analysis of the performance in the areas of results, the project constraints, team performance, and even analyze changes in the context. Then you need to analyze if there are any variances with what was planned. If there are any deviations, you need to analyze the causes and recommend a course of action. This information will be presented in the various project reports to inform key stakeholders about the progress of the project and any issues or challenges that are impacting the project, and even opportunities that you and the team identified the previous cycle to improve the performance of the project in the next cycle.